So how to find or how to do these trig problems without the unit circle sitting there. First job is deal with the angle. Second job is deal with the trig ratio. Dealing with the angle, first job, find the quadrant. We should be pretty good at that because that's kind of what that last test was, where you labeled the whole unit circle and you got used to knowing where pi is, and it's bigger than pi, it's almost 2 pi, it's almost a pi. That kind of thinking gets you into the right quadrant. Then you have to think about SMS. And I don't mean like the text messaging abbreviation thing. I mean shallow, middle, steep. But that's not really that hard because that's 6 and 4 and 3, right? Over 6 is shallow, over 4 is middle, and over 3 is steep. So step 1 and 2, the combination of those two gets you an accurate picture because you're in the right quadrant and you're the right shallow, middle, steep. Then you start worrying about the trig ratio. So is it sine, is it cosine, is it tangent? And so it's like, which side do I need? Is it x or y or both? Like x goes with cosine, y goes with sine. Tangent, you need both. So you start thinking about which side am I looking for? And then you find the side length. And every side length is either 1/2 root 2 over 2 or root 3 over 2. I guess or 0 or 1, but those are the quadrant markers that are a little bit easier to deal with. So that's my thought process when I do one of these problems. So let's look at number 3 and think through that process. Cosine 5 pi over 4. So 5 pi over 4, what quadrant is 5 pi over 4 in? It's in the third. How'd you know that? That's the perfect answer. It's a little more than pi, so it's in the third quadrant. Is it the shallow, middle, or steep angle in the third quadrant? How do you know it's the middle? It's over 4, so it's got to be in the middle. So that's part 1. Put the angle in the right quadrant with the right shallow, middle, steep. Cosine, so which side am I looking for? X. Okay, how long is that x side? Well, this is the middle angle. So that means these sides are the same, so it's root 2 over 2, except that it's backwards, it's going to the left. So it's negative root 2 over 2. But that should probably be number 5. Sine, plus or minus. That sort of goes with side length, but you got to make sure you think about it. All right, I didn't say it explicitly, but let's do number 4. But hide your unit circle. So put your unit circle underneath your worksheet. Again, if you needed to look at it, that's fine. But for now, we're trying to get to do it without looking at the unit circle. So for sine of 5 pi over 3, let me ask some questions then to locate this thing. Number 4, sine of 5 pi over 3. JD, what quadrant is 5 pi over 3 in?
The second quadrant. Or no, fourth, sorry.
Why the fourth?
Because it's right below 6 over 3.
Okay, good answer. It's almost 2,
Yeah.
so it's got to be in the fourth quadrant. Joseph, let's get a little more specific in the fourth quadrant. Is it the shallow, middle, or steep angle in the fourth quadrant?
The steep angle?
How did you know that? You're right.
It's the closest angle to 270 degrees or...
Okay. That's fine. Anybody have a different reason for how you know that one's the steep angle?
It's over 3.
It's over 3. All the over 3s are steep angles. So steep angle, fourth quadrant, looks like that. Ava, which Which, so sine, which, do I need x or y or both if I'm looking for sine? Which coordinate tells me the sine? X.
Isn't it x and y? Or it will be x over y?
For sine, I just need the y. The x tells me the cosine, the y tells me the sine. Tangent uses a ratio, but sine, I just need the y length. So that would be that side. Derek, how long is that side? Or what is that side length?
Negative root 3 over 2.
Good. So that side length is negative root 3 over 2. Let's look at number 5. Tangent of 3 pi over 4. Again, we do it this way. I get to call lots of people to do lots of pieces of the problem. So looking at number 5, tangent of 3 pi over 4. Landry, what quadrant is 3 pi over 4 in? Why do you say the second? Great answer. It's almost 1, so it's got to be in the second. Toby, it's in the second, but which one in the second is it? Is it the shallow, the middle, or the steep?
Middle.
How'd you know it was the middle?
It's over 4.
It's over 4. So middle angle, second quadrant. Noah, how do I find tangent in terms of x and y? How about in terms of opposite adjacent hypotenuse? So katoa. Opposite over adjacent. Does that help you remember what it is in terms of x and y?
No.
Let's see, back to x, y, cosine, sine. It's also adjacent, comma, opposite. So the opposite over adjacent is y over x. So I need both side lengths. So that means I can actually call on 2 people. So Danny, how long is the y side here? Good. And Ben, what's the x side? Well, it's the middle angle. That makes it a 45, 45, 90. So those side lengths have to be the same. And this side length? Well, this side length is root 2 over 2.
Oh, so it'd be root 2.
It's got to be root 2 over 2. Now be careful. Is it positive or negative?
Isn't it negative?
It's negative because it's backwards. And then, do we want to keep it, change it, flip it, or is there a shorter way for that problem? It equals, well, careful, negative 1. Negative 1. All right, I want you to try 6, 7, and 8, and then we'll go over those. So you try 6, 7, and 8. Try them without looking at your unit circle. See if you can do them without looking at unit circle. So draw a little picture, and then figure out which side you're looking for. So 6, 7, and 8, draw the picture, pick the right side. Draw the picture, pick the correct side. Draw the picture. Number 8, use both sides. Or you have enough of those memorized where you can figure it out without the picture. And then we looked at 23. 3 pi over 2 is straight down, which is 0, negative 1. Tangent's y over x, but we get a 0 on the bottom. So, big picture here, if you're using one that has a ratio or that's flipped, undefined is a possible answer. If you get a 0 on the bottom, that doesn't work. It's undefined. All right, the last thing you need to know is this worksheet is due Monday. But I'll be happy to take it today if you've already finished worksheet 1 and you want to take the next 15 minutes and knock out the rest of worksheet 2. I will be happy to take it. And again, my preference is you working without looking at the unit circle, but I'll never know what you did or didn't do.